Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Board Gaming Doctor. My name is Phil, and I'll be your Board Game Doctor today. So this is my first time really going for a physical, in-person video of a playthrough. And so I'm excited to do it, a little nervous, and I know that the quality of this will get better. So bear with me as I learn how to do this, but I'm really excited to do this. Today is Rosenberg's birthday, March 27th, at the time of this particular recording, and I have Fields of Arle out on the board. So what's special about this playthrough is, one, we're going to be using the Tea and Trade expansion, and I will refer to some of those rules along the way. And in addition to that, we are using the fan-made Frisian landscape expansion, which is not terribly difficult. It basically adds a few cards which I'll put on the screen about now or so, that include a couple of goals that you want to meet throughout this game. And I will read through them just so we're aware. But all of this is being included, including the fan-made expansion, to allow for the challenge of this month. I did a previous video for the solo challenge for Newsfeared, I believe, or it was of another game. I went ahead and did that video, and I'm going to do the same for this, and the challenge includes the fan-made expansion as well. And so I will refer to that, and it's basically scored at the end of the game, but gives us some goals to pursue while building out our little tableau right here. So, to go over some of the buildings, and once again, I apologize for not being able to zoom in. I'll probably figure that out as I go. But to give you an idea of what is specific about this game, because if you know Fields of Arle, the buildings themselves are mostly static except for a few. And so the green buildings that we have are the Carpenter's Workshop up here, the Loading Station, Weaving Parlor, and Schnapps Distillery. We also have what else is different here? The yellow buildings. So we have Friedrich's Sluice and Small Wharf, and then the blue buildings here and here. The Old Brickworks Inn, Junk Dealers Inn, Milk House Inn, and the Wassenhus Inn, if that's how you pronounce that. So, yeah, other than that, let's go ahead and get started. So, as opposed to past videos, I might do this just an all-in-one recording, so you might hear me think, essentially. So, the first thing that I thought of when I saw this layout is the Carpenter's Workshop. I've been testing this on Yukata to take this building. Now, let's see if I can hold it up to the camera here so you can see. So this building has been an interesting strategy. I've seen some really high skill players use this building to really get their game going. So I'm going to focus on that just for the sake of this recording to see how it goes. So I like that as a green building. And looking at the blue buildings, I do like that the stall and stable does work well with the Milk House Inn to give me some cattle and some opportunities to remove some peat from the board. In addition to that, I think there is a little bit of synergy between the mill and the Old Brickworks Inn, and I'll hold them both up so you can see that they both offer some abilities to work with fields, and that's something that I haven't really played around with in my plays of Arle. So let's go ahead and do that. And just to also recap what we're trying to accomplish with the Frisian landscape goals this round, we have pulling this up on my phone here, the Tidy Village. If you complete two, 3, or 4 rows, each consisting of only 3 buildings or 3 farm tiles, you get points. So yeah, if we put down some farm landscapes, right, and do 3 complete rows of those, we get some extra points at the end of the game. the competitive builder, if we get in the solo game, 2 buildings of the relative type, right? So like 2 orange, 2 green, 2 blue, etc. next to each other, we get 2 points for that. And then finally, we have the tool master, which gives us a point for each tool that we move over at least 1 spot. So those are some extra goals to have in mind for this game. So let's go ahead and place our first worker. So I like the opportunity to get some, well, to build the carpenter's workshop, I think is important to do. And so let's go ahead and first, let's go ahead. We'll place the fisherman, do the fisherman spot first, and so that moves the tool up 1 spot. We get a sheep. I think I'll go ahead and I have everything kind of set out in a little box here, and we get a food. Oh, so we get 3 food for that as well. So we'll move our food marker up 1 spot. I wanted to do that because I want to start getting as many breeding pairs as possible early on. Hopefully we can get enough to have some breed in the first round. We have a stall already, which can allow for 1 breeding pair to do so. If we can convert those into stables using the carpenter's workshop, then we will be able to, once we get 4, at least 4, we can breed twice to up to 6 per animal. So I like that. Let's go ahead and build that out. And that's going to come, we're going to come down to, I think it's going to be, let's go ahead and go here first, right? So let's build the carpenter's workshop. So that costs us 2 different goods of differing types, and a 1 grain. I think that's green. Let's go ahead and build that out right there. I want to create some more space for myself to build as I try to clear out things down here. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit up the dike builder to move 1 dike up, and let's grab our first cow. Just put it on the dike there for now. And then our last move. So to recap some of the additions that this game provides in the new resources and opportunities that the Tea and Trade expansion provides, right? We have the harbor board, I believe, that allows us to convert certain resources into others, as noted above. And so if we are hurting for some resources, we could do that. We have our ships as well that we can build to put there, and we have our new buildings, of course, and then we also have little dikes that we can build out, and they do various things. So let's go ahead and and then our tea not only is points at the end of the game, but they also allow for some extra things to happen. I wonder if we go ahead, I know clay is going to be important in this game, but I think I want to go to the, this is right there. This should be up here. So I'm thinking of going to the workbench and let's go ahead. We're going to need some clay soon too, or some brick. But let's spend 2 clay to move our workbench up 1. So that means we can do 2 more. I like the opportunity in this game. I think we're going to need quite a bit of space and clay So let's move the shovel pairs up 1. That'll give us more clay when we visit that spot. And so that cost us a wood. And let's move the spades up 1 as well for another wood. So we've got 1 wood and 1 clay left over, and that is the end of the first round. So when we inventory, so our fields, this is always automatic in Yukata, so I have to think about how to do some bookkeeping in this portion of the game. So we're going to go ahead and per wheat field or grain field, we get 1 grain, we get 1 flax. From our 1 flax field, we don't have any of the forests to give us wood. We need to eat 3 food. We do that. And, I guess we need to... I forgot that we needed to have some clay. Oh, no. Well, I guess that's just the way it goes. So, I believe if we don't have enough clay, I know we lose... I'm not going to go into the rules, and so I'm just going to retroactively take away one of my turns. Let's go ahead and use that last action. So we're going to gain back our 2 brick there, and our 3rd... No, I already spent 2 brick. And our 3 wood. We're going to move back the progress that we made there with the master bench, and instead we're going to go ahead and use that peat cutter to remove 3 peat from the board, so that way we can spend 2 to fulfill that requirement, and we don't need to worry about that. So that's fine. The benefits of playing solo. Okay, so moving on to the winter. With the solo mode, I can't do like you would in the 2 or 3 player game. I can't take an action on the opposite season, and so it all has to be on the winter side of things. So I'm going to move my folks over. So I want to continue. I know there's so many priorities that I want to have during this game, which include having the animals and the fields. So I think building a plow is going to be important. Building another just vehicle as well to get some food from our transportation, going to market, etc. And doing things like that. And so I'm good with food for this round at least. And I will get some wool at the end. So let's try to set up some breeding pairs. And let's go ahead. And now that we have our grain back, we can spend 2 clay. And our 1 grain to build a stall. Let's go ahead and put it up here. So we can try to put 2 green buildings next to each other if need be. I don't know if I want to build any of the other green buildings, and so that might be a moot point. I want to get some clay so I can convert, with my carpenter's workshop as a free action, convert a stall into a stable. So let's go ahead and get the builder's merchant going here. We'll gain some pelt. I like the idea of getting some more clay and a brick, and I'm going to spend that brick to convert this stall into a stable, like so. I might move some animals around because I want to go to the cattle trader to get that 2nd sheep. Actually, I don't think I'll have 4 anyway, so I think that's going to be okay. And how about we move some animals around and get a 2nd cow to fulfill that breeding pair. And then from here, I like the idea of building a vehicle and perhaps a peat boat as well. So we might as well, let's see, do I have enough? I need to spend 1 wood and a cattle or a horse to build that vehicle. So let's go ahead and do that. So I will spend that 1 horse that I started the game with and 1 wood to build a plow. We'll add that to my inventory. Okay. So let's do inventory. I get to breed first, so with 2 cows equals another. My stalls are now full of animals. That's good. I do get 1 wool. And then I spent my 3 food to feed myself. Okay, good. So nothing else needed occur. Right there. So as I prepare for the 3rd round here, I do want to remind myself and you what I can do with tea. So tea can be used for a few things. They can be used if I spend a tea to do an action that requires a tool. I spend a tea that is not flipped over to move or pretend and add 1 spot over on the tool track to allow myself to take the action at that level. If I flip over a flipped over tea, or use a flipped over tea, that will give me 2 action, to add 2 to the action that I take. All of that is subtracted by 1 if I use the ovens. And then if I discard 2 tea, flipped over tea, the East Frisian tea, I think is what it's called when it's flipped over, I can, when I use the plow, I get to plow 2 fields instead of just 1. So that might be something that I am interested in doing this round. I also want to start to drain my moors, so I can use that space as well for fields or buildings and what have you. So let's try to focus on that in this next round. Let's go ahead and gain a horse back by flipping over this field, this moor, and place a couple of peat on that as well. Now, it would be very interesting to yeah. Okay, so I can't, I was thinking about building a ship so I can flip over some tea, but I can only build a ship in the next round, in the winter time. So that's going to have to wait. In the meantime, I like the idea of focusing on getting another horse and trying to flip over some, or create some stall, move that stall into a stable. Kind of getting that out of the way, I think, is going to be fine and good. And so to do so, I want to get some more clay. So let's go, or some brick. So let's go to the grocer. So I will gain a brick by doing so, a grain, and grab my first leather, I think. So put that right there. Hopefully there's enough room on the screen. So that way I can use this brick. Let's just use it right away to turn this stall into a stable. Okay. So now, what should I do next? I want to cut some peat. Maybe build one more stall as well for my horses. And I guess I could plow as well. So it's either, let's see, in the next round I could do some more of that. So let's go ahead and create some space for myself. And yeah, let's utilize, because I know we're going to need a few of these for potentially some of these buildings that I want to build. So let's go ahead and cut. So I'll take 3 of those, removing this from the board. So I didn't quite get to this more yet. Oh, you know what I just realized? I just realized that I was not able to build a plow. I think I could only build the plow when I take that spot. And so I might have to retroactively do some finagling here. So if I were to still take that, and I forgot to build the beat boat too. Wow. So I spent a wood and a horse to do that. So if I retroactively go ahead and spend 1 wood to build a peat boat, as well as another vehicle, I would be able to build not much, actually. I don't know if I would want to do that, honestly. Sorry that I'm taking a backseat. I would only do this, you know, if I really messed up a rule, which I just did. So put that there to make it so that I have not broken any rules. If I were to take another action on my turn on that round, what would I do? Because this round, I think I will build the plow. You know, I think I would have done what I tried to do earlier, which was to use the workbench and, you know, spend the stuff that I used already to move those up. So that way, now that I've taken the spades action, I would remove these 2 and create that space right there. Yeah, so I still have my 1 action this round to plow. So let's do that right. Spend a wood and a horse. And then I get to plow. Now, what's more important for me? Let's just go ahead and build... Oh, actually, you know what I could do is refer to my goals again for the landscapes. Yeah. So I guess it doesn't really matter in adjacency what I build. They would just have to all be the same. So, yeah, I'll just go ahead and place that there so I can gain some grain. Okay, so I think we're caught up. I think we're okay. Sorry about that. So I do get some food from having my animals be as they are. So I get 3 food in total for my sheep and cattle combined. I'm just going to go ahead and eat that food to account for my inventory phase. I gain 2 grain, 1 flax, and no wood. I do have to use 2 2 peat to do that. So let's go ahead and move on to the 4th round. All right, so interesting what has happened so far. I am interested in building a ship. In order to do so, I would need to, let's see, gain some wood and some linen. Yeah, so let's try to do that. If I want to build the middle ship right there. Or the bigger ship, I should say. And I also want to build another stall. I'm not going to be able to get 2 clay this turn unless I do the grocer action. So what should I do? Okay, let's just keep going with this this game plan that we have been trying to do. And oh, yeah, let's go to the builder's merchant and grab a clay and a brick. It'd be nice to go to the grocer and have a tile flipped over for us to use as well. Because I want to use that spot to gain that extra clay and the extra horse. In order to do so, I would have to go to the Dyke Warden here and move and flip over my my moor, which I don't think is going to be the most optimal move for myself. So I think what I will do is just go ahead and go to the grocer. Let's get that second breeding pair and focus on getting them built up. I really like how you score animals in this game, and I think you can get a lot of points by doing so. So let's see how this goes. I might not be playing as optimally as I should, but you know, this is just for fun. So now that I have enough of those resources, I can go ahead and build a stall by converting my 2 clay and 1 grain into a stall, and then I'll just do this as a 2-for-1 and turn that stall into a stable. And let's go ahead and just put it right here and move our horses here. Good. Do I go? And so my last action, I want to progress in a different way. I'm going to need a lot of stuff like wood and clay in the upcoming rounds to build buildings and other things. So what if I just go ahead and build 1 boat and use that trading ship? So I think the trading ship, this is 1 fishing cutter, I believe. Yeah. So let's go ahead and put that there. So that costs a wood and a flax. And then that boat builder can also build me a peat boat, which I could at least use later on to turn into food if I get another vehicle to travel in, which I guess is not really the focus this round. But let's go ahead and do that. And that gives us a little bit of flexibility with our peat. Okay. All right. I think that will be good enough for now, so let's go ahead and breed. So I did miss out on the double breed in the stable, but now I do have my army of animals slowly growing, so that's cool. We can hopefully take advantage of some of these buildings very soon. And I need to pay 3 food, so I'm going to do so with 2 plus 1 grain. And I breed first and then I gain wool, so I do gain 2 wool here, which I can convert later. All right, let's gather our friends, our family back and move on to round 5. It's going by quick. I feel like this is not going to be the highest scoring round yet, or ever. And that's okay. Oh, before I do so, as a free action, I did want to put 1 tea onto my cutter, and then convert that into some East Frisian tea. So I have that flipped over for points and for possible upgraded actions, so that's nice. So now that I'm in this spot, I might want to, now that I've got my animals taken care of, I'm thinking of trying to focus on getting a good vehicle, and using that vehicle to start traveling for extra food, and trying to focus on building some high point buildings as well. I guess it's possible this late in the game to maybe focus on the village church. I think that might be a good option. Oh, the Old Brickworks Inn actually is an interesting building, this one right here. So this one will, let's see, this focuses. This one will give me some extra brick if I turn in some tea. So that is very interesting, actually. Then finally, maybe using the master workbench again to move up some other tracks like the fleshing beams and the weaving looms, so I can start producing some of those goods too. So a lot of things that I want to do. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to do so. Interesting. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, and then I like the mill. If I continue to build out, which I could potentially build very soon if I get enough flax or grain. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and, so in any case, yeah, I'm going to need some resources here. So let's go for the clay worker, and since I moved that up, I do get 4 clay. To use. I don't need to use that clay for any stables anymore, so that's good. I'm gonna want to build out the I do want to use the the woodcutter to gain some wood. I wonder if I do convert some tea into that to make it better. I could use my base tea to make that better for sure. How about we do that? So let's go to the woodcutter. I will discard 1 base tea to make that action 1 spot better to gain 4 wood. Okay. So I can use that wood for vehicles and buildings. What to do next, though? I know if we move up the workbenches, that's going to it's going to yield us some more points at the end of the game. I'm tempted to do something like that. I'm also going to just put 1 tea into the fishing boat over there, the cutter, so I can use that later. Taking some time to think here. So let's go ahead and, yeah, let's just go to the master workbench, or the master spot. I don't know if we need to move the workbenches tool up, but I guess it won't hurt too much to do so. We get some points for doing that. So we'll move that one up 1 spot. And if we spend, man, I guess I can get some more wood next round pretty easily at the wood trader. So go ahead and spend 3 wood. I'll move those up each one spot. And I could do one more. But should I? I could. It gets me an extra point, I suppose. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, and save the extra resources for later. So let's go ahead then and go to the wool weaver spot. I can do this 3 times, so I will do that to spend 3 wood to gain 3 wool. These little rolls of wool. Try to get that onto the screen there. I'll stack them. Okay. So that's my round. Let's go ahead and inventory now. So I do gain, let's see, I have 4 and 4. So that's still going to be 3 food, which I will eat automatically, so that's nice. I do get rid of 2 of those and then gain 2 grain and 1 flax. Okay. Let's reset. All right. And gain this tea back here as well. Okay. There we go. So round 6. Let's go here. I will spend a grain to get 4 wood. Here we go. And so I have 5. I can build a vehicle. So let's do that. Let's get, is this the best one to do? Yeah. I wrote that spot there, so I'll spend all of my wood here for that vehicle. And 1 horse. It might be good to get another horse at some point, but that's okay. We'll do that later. So now I can travel for some extra food, which I think I need to do for this new round. I don't foresee myself using the peat boat anytime soon. So I could go to Norden. I'll wait to use some animals, I think, after I have gained a couple of them after this breeding inventory at the end of this season in May. So, is there a good one that I should use? I could go to Lear. And it's tempting to use the building or the vehicle to upgrade some goods so I can build some nice buildings. But I think this will be good to start getting some food. So let's go ahead and do this. I'll go to Norden and I'll get rid of a fish. This is not news food. A peat boat and a sheep to get 9 food total. Because I don't have a coat to turn in. And in that way, I can also spend an ore to have that upgraded. Okay. Now, I believe I can, for example, go to India with my ship and convert 3 food into some tea, which is a possibility. Or Norway. I could also go to Norway for stuff too. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I do want to... I like the idea of going and converting some of these into some resources earlier on. So I'll spend 3 of those to get 3... I forget what this is called. These short little ones. Let's get a few of these now. And let's see. With my last action, I think I want to have at least one more sheep to take advantage of that breed. So let's go to the cattle trader, I suppose. Or yeah, let's just do that. And so I'll gain 2 of those, another sheep back, and let's go for the horse. Keep that as even as possible for endgame purposes. Now, let's just recall our family back, get that set up for next round, and then take care of inventory. So we breed first, and with the stable, I'm now at capacity for animals, for cattle, and for sheep. So that will get me quite a few things of wool. So 3, that goes up to there. And then I get to feed myself 3, so this is down to here. Okay. I still haven't really built much, honestly. This is just kind of weird how this turned out. I feel like when I usually play, the middle 3 rounds or so, I'm focusing on building one of these big castles, but I guess I've really just been petering around for other things, so that's just how it goes. Okay. So let's go ahead and focus on getting some resources to build our building. So I need to get some peat. So I'm going to flip that over. I know that's upside down, but that's all right. So I can cut for some extra area. Let's go ahead and get some more wood as well. And let's use our vehicle to upgrade some goods so we can start to afford some things later on. So I might go to the grocer, and I will gain, how about a lumber or timber, I think it's called. Move that up 1, gain another leather. And then we're going to go to the woodcutter to gain 3 wood. I don't think I need to use my my T to upgrade that action. So, and then let's cut for that ore. Sorry, that peat. And then for our vehicle, let's go ahead and turn. I'm just gonna briefly put those there. Upgrade those goods. Perfect. Okay. Let's get them back. And let's get some food. So now that I have 5 cows, and at least 5 of those, I get 4 food this time. Let's move that track up. No. Move that one for points, right? And let's go ahead and gain 2 of those, 1 of those, and that's it. Okay. And then I consume. This goes down to 7. Okay, perfect. Second to last round already, which is crazy. may be able to afford at least one of these. And I can do so if I gain a brick by doing that. Let's get some clay and a brick. So I have enough buildings to, or enough resources to build a big scoring building. If I had enough for, if I had a, enough for the mill. I have enough grain, but if I had a, ooh, should I do that? I guess I could, huh? I could do that this round. So I'm thinking I'll hold off on building a bigger building this turn. Use one of my my only building spot this round here. And I have to spend 2 food for it anyway, so it's probably for the best, but I'm gonna do that. So, and then spend 1 timber or lumber. Oops, bring this down to 2 here to build the mill. So that gets us 8 food. Right there. Okay. That'll help us afford one of these bigger buildings later, so that's cool. If I can get one more horse, I could try to, I guess, match those up. Match the ratio of animals up as much as possible this round, but I don't know if it's going to be totally worth it. Probably should do that at some point, but yeah, it's going to be important to do it because this is the last round that they will be able to breed. So yeah, let's just go to the cattle trader. I don't think there's another building that I can really build to get me. I guess I could try to build the joinery, but I would run out of time to build a big building. So yeah, I've really just run out of time. That's crazy. Anyway, so I gained 2 of those. Put out a sheep as well as a horse. And with my last worker, let's go ahead and do something. Oh, I do have this 1 wood. Oh, I forgot I had this 1 wood. So what if I do that? I can turn in yeah, let's just get rid of our plow for food. Let's go doing some free stuff here. So I'll travel to Hague, or Haj, and Dornum. Get rid of my plow, which I guess is 3 points, right? I don't think I need it anymore. For 9 food. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I don't know. I feel like I'm just doing things at this point. Definitely need to learn more about efficiency in this game, I guess. And then I can convert some stuff into more points, I suppose. I can get a bunch of points from the tanner, I guess. Let's just go there for an extra 5 points, because I can turn this into 5 of these. 3, 4, 5. So none of them are flipped over. There we go. All right. So now we get ready for the last round. And let's flip these over. points there. And let's go ahead and breed. So I get 2 horses. Move these 2 guys. I think I can fit 2 on one field. One pasture, I should say. So that way I can get 2 more of these guys. Each. Okay. Okay, we got some laying down there in the stall. Alright. So that takes care of breeding. I have 6 sheep, so I can move this up 3 spots. There we go. Feed myself. Down to there. I'll rearrange the food later on if I need an extra point or something. And then let's take our last turn. So I definitely have enough food to afford one of these buildings, so let's just go ahead and build them. I think I'll go for the Burham Castle. Yeah, I think that's going to be for the best, because I can move the ovens up 1, that gets me a point, and the weaving looms up a point as well. Some workbenches, yeah. And then I get to flip something over. Let's go ahead and flip this one over, so I can fit something bigger there. Because I don't need to worry about peat this turn. So, yeah. Why don't we go ahead and travel to Bremen to get rid of this for, extra 4 points. Oh, and I forgot to use these resources here. Okay. So got rid of that. I'm not going to give up any wood. I have sheep to spare, so I will get rid of those sheep for 9 food. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I will not have to use the rest of that for stuff, so cool. Now I can build another building. I would just need to figure out the resources that I could use for said building. But what should that one be? Something that could give me some extra points. A good chunk of points at the end of the game. Oh, I guess it's the old brick inn. The old brickworks inn. Junk dealer looks pretty fun too, actually. I don't need any more cattle. Yep, so let's go ahead and try to build that, because it would be nice to build another one of these buildings to put next to each other for the points, but I don't think I can afford another orange building and like the mill. Yeah, because I can't build the textile house or the waterfront because I won't be able to get enough brick, and I won't be able to afford another red building. So it is what it is. So let's just go ahead and grab. Let's go ahead and grab this. Go to the grocer just for the wood. I don't need to go to the axe thing, because that way I can get another point from some more leather, which is crazy. I have it so much. And then I can go ahead and build one more building, spending these resources and 9 food to build the junk dealer's inn. Just put that right there. So I can get my peat boat back, and I think I will, because it's either that or a 0 point vehicle. So we'll do that. Do get some boots. Put that there, and 1 wool roll. Cool. So with my last action, looking at my animals just to see if I can gain some extra points from scoring them. I have 7 sheep, I have 8 cattle, and 6 horse. So I suppose I could get another horse. Is that going to be the most profitable action? It's like 2 extra points if I get another horse, right? Or something like that. I don't know. I suppose. Or I could just get some more like wool. Because I could turn 4. That'll be like 3 points, right? Yeah, if I convert all of my wool into more stuff, that would, yeah, I think that's probably the most lucrative thing I can do right now. So I'll get 4 more of these rolls. I think I ran out. Oh, no, there's one more here, so that'll be fun to count out. All right, I think I'm done. Oh, so interesting game. Let's count up the points. So I'm gonna have to reach over and refer to the rulebook again. This is once again automatically done in the online, right? So for clothing, tiles, and building materials, so let's see, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8, 9, 10.5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23. So 23.5 points. I'm going to keep track of that here on my phone real quick. So that's not too bad, I suppose. Next, equipment in the barn. I get... Oh, I forgot. Oh, can't forget to do this. So I get 3, 5 with my little boat there. I didn't do much with the extra tea and trade stuff. I think I built pretty much everything from the base game. Travel experience, I get 4. 4 points for traveling up there. For tools, so I get 4 points for my workbenches. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points for tools. On the goods track, let's see. If I do this, that gets me an extra food. Yeah, so 3 points. Victory point on the home board. So that's -3. Oh, I'll do the -3 first for the unoccupied dyke spots at the front, but then the buildings themselves. So I've got 6, 12, 18, 19, 19, 29, 34, 38, 44 points. Okay. And I think, yeah, that covers all of the buildings that I built. And then the animals. So for the least type of animals that we have... Oh, you know what I realized? Oh, it doesn't really matter. I was just looking at like the inventory at the end of the game. Like I'm not supposed to have those 2 brick or those 2 peat. I gained 3 food. Actually, I gained 5 food and 8 2 or 8 3. So my food's actually right there. So yeah, and then everything else is irrelevant because then it'll just go up like that. All right. So back to animals. Yeah, each animal that you have the least of is worth 2 points. I have 6. Horse, so that's 12 points. Plus the next highest, which is sheep, is 7 points. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that gives me a score of 104.5 at the end of the game. Yeah, so that wasn't bad. Oh, I forgot to add the Frisian landscape buildings. So just going over those real quick. The tiny village, having rows of buildings and or farm tiles. I did not meet any of those. So that, because I think according to this, I think you would have to have, only a building. So I missed out on that. I could have planned that a little bit better. The competitive builder I missed out on as well. It's really the tool master. So 1 point extra for every workbench or tool track that I went up on. So that's at least one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now another 7 points. So 111.5 is my final score. So pretty okay. I think a good score without the Frisian landscape is probably upwards of like 110, 120. And so I'm a good couple of points short. I suppose if I focused more on some building synergies and less so on the animals, maybe I would have scored higher. I think if I focused more on getting more resources to build buildings, maybe I could have synergized a little bit better for some extra points. But still, I have consistently been scoring around this range myself. In the base game, I can get up to about like 110, I think, or so when I'm playing 2-player. So I can try to mix things up to get a better score later on. But anyway, that was fun. Thank you if you have stuck around this long, thank you for doing so. Once again, happy birthday to Mr. Rosenberg, and thank you for this game and for the opportunity to kind of live your autobiography, your ancestry, I suppose, in this region of the world. So thank you for this game, and thank you for watching and listening. Hope you schedule an appointment with me real soon. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.